Bill Maher pins education disaster on Democrats. Questions if education department is even needed. Now, if you look at it from a logical perspective, you use your brain, you be reasonable. Anyone with half a brain would know that the Department of Education is not needed. Our education has gotten a lot worse. People has gotten a lot dumber since the Department of Education been around. People has not gotten any smarter. I can tell you from my own anecdotal experiences working with kids, a lot of them cannot read. It's sad. It's sad. Like, I don't understand. And I remember I had one kid before that couldn't read, and I believe he was like in the 8th or 9th grade or something like that. And I said, how'd you end up continue to passing, not being able to read? And he was like, well, my teachers, they just pass me. They know I can't read. They just go ahead and pass me anyway. Like, this makes absolutely no sense to me. It should be higher standards. A kid shouldn't be able to just move along if he can't read. Our education system has let our children down. I think that's exactly why I believe the Department of Education needs to go away. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to play the clip from Bill Maher. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. And again, we'll get to the clip in a second. The Daily Wire reports that liberal comedian Bill Maher questioned on his show this week whether the Department of Education was even worth saving after learning that the Biden administration funneled tens of billions of dollars to questionable environmentalist groups during its final days in office. Maher made the remark on Friday during a panel discussion on his HBO show Real Time while discussing cuts to the federal government that Trump is making. So let's just get to the clip here. Let's scroll down here. Here we go.
What does the panel think of the Trump administration gutting and potentially eliminating the Department of Education? I'm still thinking about it.
I'm all for it.
Hey, you take this one.
Josh Shapiro.
Here's what I care about. I got kids with special needs. I've got kids who are coming from poor families who rely on this funding from the federal government to have a shot in life. I said before, I want every child of God to have the freedom to chart their own course, the opportunity to succeed. The federal government made a compact with those kids. I hope they don't break that compact with those kids.
I guess what the question, though, really is the Department of Education doing that? Is it now? They probably are doing some good work. I'm sure they are. What is their budget? Like $200 billion or something? But it also looks like some of these places are just funneling money to people who are not solving the problem. I mean, I saw that.
That's exactly why they're trying to stop Doge. They don't want things like this to come to light. Doge is shining a huge light on this, the corruption and the fraud that's going on in government. And people like Bill Maher seeing this is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this stuff is happening. So even leftist Bill Maher sees the fraud and the waste and the misuse that's going on in government. And he's even like, wow, something has to change.
A story about the $20 billion that went out the door after Biden lost the EPA. It wasn't the EPA, or was it the EPA? But
it was the EPA.
It was $20 billion that they shoveled to groups because Trump was coming and then they were going to reverse all this stuff. And the supposedly environmental groups, and they were not really environmental groups. No. And they had no experience in doing it. Like I said before,
some of them were brand new, just created groups. And they created these groups to get this money. It's so, I mean, it's blatant. It's blatant if you look at what's going on here. Some groups only managed to get, like, I can't remember what group it was. It might have been, I can't remember what group it was, but one group was newly created and they were only able to only get about $100 before Biden came in and gave them billions. So they have no experience getting billions of dollars. It's crazy.
I care about the plastics. Do I think this money was going to get rid of the plastics in my brain? I do not. So I am skeptical of the Department of Education, and I think every Democrat who runs really needs to take on this issue because that's your portfolio, education. You've owned it, and the results aren't good. Kids isn't.
The education standards.
Yeah, facts. Democrats own education. They are the ones that always talk about giving more and more money to the teachers union, giving more and more money to the Department of Education so we can get this right. And kids are getting dumber. It's simple and plain. It's simple. If it's not working, we need to get rid of it.
Kids isn't learning.
Kids are not.
Kids isn't
not
learning. I think through all this, I'm sorry, Sam.
No,
were you
I'm sorry.
gonna-
I will say it's clear that our education achievements are not where they need to be, right? Like we look at any comparison to any other country, we're just not keeping up. The question is, absent that funding, would it be worse, right? We don't know. This money,
Are you serious?
if it can get funneled back into
Are you serious? Absent the money, will it get worse? So we just to continue. This is what Democrats believe. Just to continue to throw money at the problem, even though we've been doing that and it hasn't been working. You want to continue for us to throw money at the problem. This is what Democrats believe.
states. I'm assuming there are some Democrats who say, good, keep the top lines at where they are and we can use it to our benefits. But this money was also used to set education standards, to study how to do better curriculums, to figure out how to recruit teachers in a comprehensive.
But none of that stuff has worked. That's the whole point here. That's the point we're trying to make. None of that stuff has worked. None of that stuff, the studies, looking into these things, it haven't made kids any brighter. But again, you want to continue to throw money at it.
Set education standards, to study how to do better curriculums, to figure out how to recruit teachers in a comprehensive, thorough way. And so I don't know every program that they are cutting right now, but the idea that there won't be any adverse consequences seems not logical.
Of course not, because that's what they do. They blow everything up first. That's what I don't get about this.
I think they're going about it wrong. First off, I think it's important that we support the American people, not the American institutions. You are right that there is waste, there is fraud, there is abuse in these institutions. It should be rooted out. It's one of the reasons why when I was a county executive of Pennsylvania's third largest county, we did zero-based budgeting. We didn't go in with a hatchet. We literally went in and said, your budget's zero. Build it up to where it needs to be. And you know what happened? Some agencies were reduced. Some agencies got a lot more because it was mission-driven. I think we've got to focus on meeting the mission, meeting the goals, and then driving the funding out to meet those goals.
I say gut it. Gut it all.
Is the Democratic Party too much in the pocket of the teachers union?
Facts,
No, I
yes.
think the Democratic Party cares deeply about making sure these children get a shot in life. I certainly care about that. And I'm not suggesting that everything the Department of Education does is
I'm
wise.
talking about unions now, the teachers union, because I think like during COVID, didn't the teachers union?
They are in the hip pocket of the union. Yes, yes. We know that.
Is
I'm
wise.
talking about unions now, the teachers union, because I think like during COVID, didn't the teachers union keep the schools closed way too long?
Look, we partnered with our teachers unions in Pennsylvania to increase the number of teachers we have in the classrooms, to reduce class sizes, and to improve outcomes for kids. I think there's ways to work with the teachers unions to make progress for our children.
Okay, what does the panel think of Trump speaking at the
So there you have it. There you have it. But y'all know where I sit when it comes to the Department of Education. It needs to go. Has not helped anyone. I've been talking about the Department of Education forever. I wish I could remember that lady's name. She done a wonderful documentary because she used to work for the Department of Education way back in the day. That basically pulled the wool off my eyes when it came to the Department of Education and how they're actually there to push the leftist agenda. That's what the Department of Education is there for. Not really to help kids, but to push their propaganda, and that's why it needs to go. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.